Hello.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining us. My name's Cara, I run Right to Right, and my co-host today is Libby Gleeson. I will be running through the psychology of social proof. I'm going to try to keep this, the main part of the information to around about half an hour, and then I'm going to take questions afterwards. So I'm actually going to go on the record for the information that I'm going to give you, and then the questions are going to actually be given live. So if you're catching the replay, please keep a view or an eye to my Twitter account, because I will actually post when I'm holding my next blab. So with that, so what I'm talking about today is social proof. So this is things like reviews and testimonials and all of those kinds of things. And there's a lot of people talking about that, a lot of social media experts talking about social proof at the moment. But what I found is that they're not actually discussing the stuff that sits behind it. So for those who don't know me, sorry, take me the time. I have a degree in psychology. I also have a postgraduate, my name's Cara, I have a degree in psychology, I have a postgraduate diploma of management, and I have 15 years of experience working in e-business. So I feel I'm pretty uniquely placed to actually discuss the psychology that sits behind social media. So I've had a look at some numbers, and some interesting things have come up insofar that 70% of Americans, now this would apply for Australians and English, I believe, equally. 70% of Americans say that they will look at reviews before they make a purchase. And then another of those, 90% of people said that their decision was based on the reviews they had read prior to purchasing. So let's face it, that makes a good proportion of your clients are actually reading stuff about your business before they decide to come to you to make a purchase or to work with you. So what am I talking about social proof? Now, there are about 5 main types of social proof. They fall into a number of different areas. There's the expert, the celebrity, the user, the crowd, and friends. So I'm going to go through those. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them, but I'll leave answering them till the end. Okay. So expert social proof is based upon the opinion of your customer, their opinion of the person actually giving the social proof, or the brand providing the proof. And this is generally seen in the form of endorsements, comments, and paid advertising. And these work on the psychology of the like, know, and trust effect. And you'll hear social media marketers speak about like, know, and trust. And what it does is it builds upon the relationships that people have with the expert already, and that the customer holds in their mind. And it uses the customer's belief about that expert. And so, the expert knows what they're talking about, so the product or service must be good. Then there are celebrity there's a category called celebrity social proof, and it's not just sports endorsements and things like that. And doesn't have to be A-grade celebrities either, or A-list celebrities either. The reason being is that it actually uses your customer's self-perception, so how they see themselves and their desire to improve their position. So these are people who like to make aspirational purchases, people who are looking for inspiration. Kardashians are a fantastic example of celebrity social proof. But like I said, it doesn't have to be A-list celebrities. Things like brand ambassadors can work. And I've seen this a lot on Instagram, for example, where, and I'll go into this a little bit later, where businesses or how businesses can use brand ambassadors to build their social proof. So the next type of social proof is the users. So this is what we generally see as social proof. So these are the reviews, the stars, the stars that you see on Facebook pages, the reviews that you see on Yelp, the things that you see on TripAdvisor, reviews on Google. Whirlpool, it's my husband's favourite forum is Whirlpool. He uses it a lot. Psychologically, these allow us to put ourselves in someone else's shoes. We like doing that. We like to be able to experience things from somebody else's perspective. So that's how these types of things work. And psychologists use terms such as the collective conscience, and this is what user social proof pulls upon, is this collective thought. And humans are social beings. We like to live generally, we prefer to live in groups, we prefer to associate with other people. So this is what this type of social proof actually pulls upon. Then there's the crowd social proof. And this marries in actually with the previous one of user social proof. And this one calls upon the fear of missing out, or FOMO. And this is where you'll see businesses use such numbers as, or McDonald's is a great one, 50 million burgers sold, worldwide, or businesses will say, we currently have 30,000 subscribers. This is how influencers use social proof to get business, is the crowd effect. They say, we've got so many followers, so therefore, you need to connect with us, you need to use us. And a less known and probably less used piece of social proof is friends. I actually use this a lot personally. We all use it, or most people use it. Just consider how often you ask your friends about their opinions about particular brands. I will, if I need a new washing machine, I saw this the other day. A friend of mine was after a new dishwasher. So he put up a post on Facebook and said, okay, I'm looking for a new dishwasher. What do you think? So how people use this is that because we already trust these people, we will value their opinions more highly than someone that we can't associate with. And this is why even if people don't know that person providing the review, if they can associate with that person, if they look similar to themselves, if they use similar language to themselves, if they have a similar background, if they have similar experiences, this is where the friends aspect of social proof can come into its own. So the next thing I want to talk about is why people provide social proof. And there are a couple of reasons why people actually give social proof. So why people actually provide this feedback. And there are 6 main reasons why. The first one's altruism. People do it because they want to help, because they like to feel valued. And there's a lot of evidence that sits behind, once you volunteer to do something, the feel-good factor actually lasts long after you've actually made that helpful act. So that's one of the things. The other thing that people who provide reviews altruistically get is that it reinforces their beliefs and the benefits that they've actually gained from making the purchase or having the service and things like that. So it reinforces to them by sitting down there and speaking to somebody or typing something out or posting a picture. It reinforces in their psychology how much they enjoyed your service or your product. some people do it. The next one is rewards. Some people will actually provide reviews for reward. So that could be a discount or free items. And this is where brand ambassadors fit in. Or, people will do stuff for product reviews. This is how product reviews work, where you provide people products and they provide reviews. So that's another option that you have. The other one is influencing. And actually, I was speaking to my mother this morning, and she had a reaction to some medication. And she said, look, I was going to go down to the chemist and say to them, look, I had this reaction to this medication. And what she's trying to do is influence the chemist so that they say, oh, okay, so we will know for next time, perhaps we'll ask these questions if someone wants the same product, or, make them aware that, some people have had, an adverse reaction to it. So people who enjoy providing social proof to influence do it so that they can change the product or change the service. And they could do it either so that somebody else doesn't have the same experience as they do, or so that they don't have the same experience again. So that's where people use influencing. Complaints. Now, businesses are afraid of complaints online. And I'm going to talk later about how you can actually overcome them. And there is some psychology around that too. So what you can do is just make sure you can turn it around positively, because people like to be heard. And this is why people will complain. They either want to do it, one, because of influence, or two, just because they like to be heard. So let people have their say. But it just doesn't only influence themselves, but also if you turn it around and make a positive experience out of the complaint, you will find that you're not just influencing the person who made the complaint, but you're also affecting those people who are reading that complaint as well. And that's the reason why experts will say that you should keep complaints up on your website or on your social media channel. Loyalty. So the next thing is brand loyalty. Now, this is the pinnacle for most businesses, that they have, the brand advocate. And these people are just purely loyal to your business. They may not have even purchased from you, but they will always give you positive reviews. These people are your ideal clients. They're as close to your ideal clients as you are going to get. And the ones that will always purchase from you are definitely your ideal clients. So you need to be listening to these people and modeling your actions around the feedback that they give you, because you need more of those people in your business. And the last reason why people provide feedback is for fame. People like their 5 minutes of fame. Nowadays, I think it's 15 seconds. They don't care as long as they get the flash on the screen. The 5 minutes is probably a bit outdated now. Now, there are a couple of reasons why for this one. Some people write comments so that their comments become famous. Just think of, I don't know if you've seen the Haribo reviews on Amazon about the Haribo gummy bears and the warnings about the impacts it can have on your gut health. That's one of the ones that has gone viral and seems to do the rounds every once in a while. So that's one of the reasons why. But the other one is just so that people can see themselves up on social media, on their favorite brands' social media site. This is what Dunkin' Donuts did a few years ago. They would promote their fan of the week up on their Facebook header. People enjoy that. They get a kick out of it. And this actually ties nicely in with the friends type of social media, because you will see the person live on their social media, and you'll be able to then associate with that person. You'll be able to put yourselves in their shoes, those kinds of things. And this is where pictures really help with reviews, because it makes it easier for your customer to make a connection with that person who's providing the reviews. So, consider Fan of the Weeks if that's something that you can use for your business. So what I'm going to talk about now is how your businesses can actually use social proof. So psychologists say that people will remember either the first or the last things that they see or read. So this is called the primacy and recency effect. And this ties in with customer complaints. So what you'll see is on sites such as TripAdvisor, when you go to your reviews, the 5-star reviews will be first. Same as Facebook pages that have the reviews, you'll see the 5-star reviews first. This is because people will have a better reaction to that if they see those coming up first. Now, what I was talking about customer complaints is that so long as your clients or your prospective customers read positive reviews first, they will then tend to ignore the negative complaints that come after. So just to reinforce that, if customers see positive reviews first, they will tend to discount the negative effects of the negative reviews or complaints afterwards. So just make sure that when you're ordering your reviews, have some positive reviews first. This is great for your websites and things like that. Now, the thing about websites and social proof is that no reviews is better than a low number of reviews. And there's some information out there that say 10 is a minimum. But just so long as you've got some up there, like a minimum of 10, anything less than that, I would suggest that you take them off your website or your Facebook page. The reason is that if people don't see an adequate number of reviews, they will think that your business is untrustworthy or new, or that no one's using your business. So they're not going to buy from you then. They can't put themselves into somebody else. They don't have enough proof there to put themselves in somebody else's shoes. So please consider that. The other thing is that businesses should be wary of 1- and 5-star reviews. So generally people, if they're given an odd number scale to use for their reviews, so 1 to 5, 1 to 7, people actually tend to pick a middle of the road number. It's called central tendency. So people will generally tend to move towards the middle. But if you have 1- and or 5-star reviews, especially if they don't contain any text to allow your customers to put themselves in that person's shoes, to use that friend or that crowd psychology, what will happen is that they will be discounted, because people will tend to they'll exaggerate their experience with a business to compete with other reviews, to see as being more influential, or to gain that fame factor that that customers are looking for when they provide their reviews. So just be wary of the 1- and 5-star reviews, because your customers could see you as being less credible if you have a lot of those, especially if they don't have any text for customers to be able to put themselves into. So what I want to, just to wrap up, because I have actually gone through the stuff here. So there were 5 types of social proof, and those were the expert, so the celebrity, this is where you get your brand ambassadors, the user, this is where things like whirlpool and things come into effect, crowd, this is where people have FOMO, or friends. Friends is another form of social proof. This is where you'll see friends commenting or liking, or where people will then put themselves into the experience of the person actually providing the reviews. Then you've got 6 reasons why people provide reviews. And that can be altruistic, because they want to seem to be helpful. They're receiving some kind of reward. They want to influence your product or your service. They want to make a complaint. They're loyal to your brand, which is always my favourite, or for fame. But what I want businesses to remember is that your reviews will be read, and they will be used by your customer, and they will be used by your customer to reinforce what they already think about your business, and that will direct their behaviour. So thank you for joining me. I hope you found this useful. If you have any questions, please tweet it out. Thank you to the replay viewers. And I look forward to chatting with you